What's up guys, welcome to today's video. So today what I'm going to chat about is how to plan and the simplest way to figure out how much food or how many calories you should be eating at each meal. So this is a follow-on from a video I did a couple weeks ago. It was called Basics of Bodyweight Management. I think if you go back on YouTube or Instagram a couple weeks, you'll find it there. And in that video, I explained how to figure out how many calories you need to eat daily in order to reach your goals. So I explained how to get your basal metabolic rate and then adjust that figure for the amount of activity you're doing, and then adjust that further to figure whether you want to gain weight or whether you want to lose weight or just maintain. So I suggest you go and watch that video before watching this, and that'll give you a little bit of insight into what I'm talking about here. Okay, so now beyond that, once you've figured out that number, you know the amount of calories you need to be eating each day, how do we then apply that to the meals that we have during the day? So I'm going to explain that. What you first need to do is figure out how many meals you can stick to and commit to daily. When we're going after a goal like this, guys, you want to try to keep it as simple for yourself as possible. So think of something like 3 meals a day is usually easiest for most people. Breakfast, lunch, supper. Sometimes you can add a 4th meal. It's all going to be dependent on your lifestyle. But once we've figured this out, so let's say it's going to be 4 meals a day, we're then going to take that figure, that amount of calories that we worked out before, and we're going to divide it by 4. Okay? So let's say, for example, the amount of calories you need to be having daily is 2,000 calories. Okay, that's how many you should be having in order to reach your goal, whether that's weight gain or weight loss. 2,000 calories, we then divide that by 4 for 4 meals. That gives us 500 calories per meal. Okay, that's how many calories we need to be consuming per meal in order to reach that 2,000 calorie target per day, which is going to help us reach our goal. Okay, so we now know 500 calories per meal. That's what we're going to do. Once we've figured this out, guys, next step is to work out how much protein we need to be consuming per day. Now, this is going to vary from person to person, and you're probably going to have to play a little bit around with it, but it can be anywhere from sort of 1.3 grams per kilogram of body weight, all the way up to 2, possibly even more, 2 grams per kilogram of body weight. So take your weight in kgs, times it by 1.3 to 2. As I said, you got to figure that out, and that's going to give you the total amount of protein that you need per day. Okay, you're then going to take that figure and divide that by 4, and that's going to tell us how much protein you should be hitting every meal. So we've figured out how many calories we need. 2,000 divided by 4 times over 4 meals, that's 500 calories per meal. Now for the protein, let's say you needed to get 160 grams of protein per day, divided by 4, that's 40 grams of protein per meal. So we now know we need 500 calories per meal and we need 40 grams of protein per meal. Okay, so there's our first step. We're now going to choose a protein that's going to be the foundation of our meal. So let's take breakfast for example. 40 grams of protein, easy one to go for is eggs. Okay, we're going to work out how many eggs we need to consume in order to reach our 40 grams of protein. Okay, then the rest of the calories we're going to fill up with carbs and fats. These ones don't really matter, guys. You can have higher fats and lower carbs, lower fats. It's completely up to you and personal preference, but these are going to take up the remainder of the calories for that meal. And then you're going to repeat that same process for all the other meals throughout the day. Pick a protein, figure out how much of that protein you need to be having in order to reach your protein target, and then fill up the rest with with carbs and fats, guys. It's that easy. Once you've got this waxed down and you understand this pretty well, guys, you can then start getting creative. Let's say you want to have a bigger dinner, you take some calories from breakfast. So instead of having a 500 calorie dinner, you want to have an 800 calorie dinner. That means we take away 300 calories from breakfast or one of the other meals. That meal becomes smaller, that meal becomes bigger. We're still reaching the same target that we're looking for, guys. Also, as you get better and better at this, you can start to bring in different foods to make it a little bit more interesting for yourselves. When you're starting this, guys, I would suggest trying to keep it as simple as possible, just because that's going to be the easiest way to stick to it. It can be a little bit boring, but your adults, I promise you, you can handle a boring meal for a little while. Once you get used to it and accustomed to it, then you can get creative and start making cooler meals, guys. I hope this was informative and you enjoy it. If you have any questions, send them my way. Otherwise, I'll see you next week.